Hi, Electro-Music forum members. Dano on the boards asked me to do a quick little demo here of what the ZeitGeist and the Benjolin should sound like separately and together. So I'm going to take a moment to familiarize you with the controls. Right here we have the input volume into the ZeitGeist. We have the feedback. We have delay 1 and delay 2. We have here a power switch which simply turns on the amplifier that I have built in. This switch right here simply turns on the ZeitGeist, and this switch down here in the bottom, which is currently in the off position, turns on the Benjolin. So we're going to start with the sound of the ZeitGeist by itself without any input. So I have both of the delay knobs turned down to their lowest factor. I'm going to slowly increase the feedback. What you're hearing is the noise of the circuit being repeated at a very fast rate. So I've got it turned at about 80% delay right here, and it should repeat forever without completely freaking out. So what you'll see happening here when I turn up the delay, the pitch seems to shift downwards, and that's because the delay time is becoming lower. Turn up the feedback a little bit. And if I turn up this knob, it adds to the delay time. Now, if you go too far on the delay time, the chip on there breaks down in an interesting sort of way, to a point where it'll stop. Now, if I go down here, you'll see there's the optical sensor. There's a switch right here that turns the optical sensor on and off. This switch right here controls whether or not the input signal is sent out of the output, along with the delayed version of the input signal. So, let me turn on the optical sensor here, and turn on my flashlight so you can get a sense of what this does. So here we go. Turn up the feedback a little more. So that's feedback at 100%. The first delay knob turned down at about 5%. The second delay knob turned to about 30%. Let's turn them both down to the shortest delay time. So there's the fun. So now let's go ahead and combine. First of all, we're going to play just the sound of the Benjolin. It's going to have a little bit of short delay in it, but you probably won't hear much of it. So I'm controlling the input volume. Let's turn off the optical sensor. So here's the Benjolin. So I'm going to turn everything down to 0. And basically you will hear nothing. This is the pitch, rungle A, rungler B. I'm not sure what this knob is called off the top of my head, but it controls the rate at which the modulation with the runglers occurs. Down here we have the low-pass filter. We have the feedback, the resonance of the resonance. This, I believe, controls an input for my control voltage, but I'm not 100% sure. And this right here controls a modulation of the filter, which you'll hear in a moment here. So right now, let's turn the pitch up. You can hear it gets down to like a pulse or 2 per second. Just above, just about the edge of my hearing. No, not maybe a little lower. Okay, so let's play with the filter. I can hear there's something going in that sounds like pulse code modulation. So right here, we're going to use this knob right here to control the rate at which these runglers affect. It also controls the rate at the filter sweep. Sounds like sort of ring modulator-ish. Where it gets really interesting is when you increase the rungler A. Now, this is modulating the pitch ever so slowly in a random sort of way, and the rate that occurs is controlled by this knob. All the way up until you get like frequency modulation sounds. Now this knob, the higher you turn it, the more the space between each pitch occurs. So it's widening the modulation. Now you can read about what the rungler does elsewhere, but it changes the modulation effectively. You get to be a bit, to get a sense of, instinctual sense of what it's going to do. So let me add some resonance. Let me modulate the filter. So let's now add in the ZeitGeist. Now I have the delay time set very short right now. That's a sound a lot of us are probably familiar with. Like comb filtering that occurs from a real short delay. So now I'm going to increase the delay. You get that telltale dropping of pitch as the length of the delay increases. Remember I mentioned mixing, this switch right here would mix the input into the ZeitGeist with the delayed version of the signal. So you'll hear here. Let me increase the feedback here. You can hear that hiss jump in as the extra signal's added. So there you have it. Hopefully that's helpful for those people who are trying to troubleshoot. So if I kick off the ZeitGeist, I can hear just the Benjolin by itself with absolutely no echo at all, no comb filtering occurring from that really short echo with really low feedback. Alright folks, hopefully that's helpful. Hope you either A, enjoyed it just for the sake of watching something new and interesting, or hopefully it helps you with your Benjolin and ZeitGeist builds should you happen to attend one of Rob's workshops. Thanks, and this is Mike Hunter. If you happen to have some time at 1 a.m. on Friday night, technically Saturday morning, visit WPRB.com and listen to my 3-hour radio show, Music with Space. That's all.